Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday, December 18th. Hope you're holding strong. I have some bullish news to share with you guys. Not too many news items, but definitely some important ones that I definitely want to call out. As always, this is not financial or investment advice. And I did want to let you guys know I started a Patreon group here. The link will be in the description. So if you want to support the channel, and also in 2019, I plan to do some traveling to get exclusive interviews and also host crypto events and meetups. So if you would like to support, you definitely can. No obligation, no pressure. This is just if you feel like tipping $5 or whatever per month, you can. Link in the description. So we continue to see some green here in the market. But as I told you guys yesterday, we have to let this play out because there is manipulation in the market. This could be a short squeeze. It could be a bull trap. Who knows, right? We just got to let it play out and see what happens because it could be a short run up and then a massive correction. Some people are still saying we could hit some very lower lows, so to speak, where Bitcoin could go to 2,500 or even below that. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Guys like Mike Novogratz has been he was interviewed by Bloomberg, and he doesn't expect the price to go down any further. He said that it will be in the range of 3,000 to 6,000. Now, obviously, everyone talks about Bitcoin specifically because it's the brand. It's the essentially number one crypto in the market, the original. In the market right now, because we don't have decoupling yet, everything still moves the way Bitcoin moves. And so I think everyone kind of uses it as a measuring stick for the market, Bitcoin, where it's going to be. So he says, in the foreseeable future, Bitcoin will be between 3,000 to 6,000. And he's still very bullish, of course, and he believes that let me give you the quote here. In November, Novogratz said that he expects cryptocurrency to flip next year since that's when prices start moving again. Novogratz predicted that financial institutions would transition from investing in cryptocurrency funds to investing in cryptocurrencies proper in the first quarter of next year. So we know some big things are set up to launch. You guys saw my video about the 2019 predictions, as well as the blog post on my website listing all the respective major launches with their dates and sources to verify those announcements. And we know Bakkt pushed their launch to January 24th. The SEC could approve a Bitcoin ETF by the final deadline, which is February 27th. We know Fidelity, ErisX, and many other services are going to be launching. So I think everyone now is moved. We're almost at the end of December 2018 here. So I think everyone is looking forward to 2019 when we have all these major launches. And it seems like the market is bottoming out now. So let's see what happens, guys. It's a waiting game and we have to be patient, but we know this is a new asset class. It is here to stay, and we really have to be patient. And as I always say, look at what the big money is doing, because that tells you a different story from the price. Price can be affected by many things, and markets move in cycles. So we are obviously in one of the biggest bear markets in the crypto market, but we had one of the biggest bull runs last year. Now, in just natural market cycle, you can't have a continual run up, right? It has to be a correction. And of course, we know that that run up was heavily based upon speculation. And I believe the next run up will have to be about utility and actual services going live, right? Last year, there was nothing significant. You just had your normal forks and kind of everyone talking about it, word of mouth. This time, I think with the launches of these big institutional trading services and custody services will open the door for big money. But I think one of the things that are holding up the market very much is regulations that's needed and clarity. The SEC has said, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. However, what about all the other top coins? XRP, Litecoin, Stellar, Cardano, Neo, right? EOS. They haven't given any clarity on that. Also, we see that they're doing some cleanup right now. They're going after ICOs and some exchanges and trying to fight manipulation. And we also know that Congress is currently reviewing a bill. I think it's called the Virtual Currencies Act, which will protect consumers, but also look at growing the market and help the U.S. to move forward. So I think those things for sure are holding up the market to a certain degree. But let me give you guys some big news here. What we continue to see is major acquisitions, partnerships, investments. We're talking millions of dollars from the big investors, even in guys like Mike Novogratz. And it's just been news after news after news. And as I've been saying, we are in the infrastructure stage. Things are being built out, investments are being made, acquisitions, services are launching, everyone's getting their patents, building out their custody services, and so forth. So Nomics raised $3 million in a Series A round as demand for crypto data surges. Nomics, an API crypto data site, announced Tuesday that it had closed a Series A round at $3 million. The leading investor was VC firm Arthur Ventures, which joined by BitGo co-founder Ben Davenport, City Block Capital, Coinbase Ventures, CoVenture, Crypto, and a digital currency group. Founded earlier this year, Nomics has indexed 3.5 billion raw trading data points from multiple exchanges, aiming to guide investment decisions and machine learning models. Who do you think they're building this for, guys? You and I? No. When you're talking about big data and machine learning, this is for the big boys. This is for the big players who are going to put millions. And this is what happens. This is normal in the stock market and other markets where you have big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence as well, and a lot of different platforms and so forth, things that the process becomes automated, and a lot of the decisions can be based on big data. Like, for example, these people at Nomics could pull a whole bunch of social sentiment information. They can pull the information from different exchanges, and all that information is going to be used to inform investors. So we're headed to the big leagues, and that's what's been happening in this bear market, guys. And that's why these companies are getting money. They're getting millions of dollars, right? Because we're in the infancy stages, the ground level, and the next bull run is going to be led by these institutional investors. So you have to count yourself lucky that you're here, positioned here, because a lot of weak hands have left the market. Even today, I was talking to some people, and they're still like, "Oh, crypto is a bubble, it's fake," and I'm like, if that's all you know about crypto, then you don't really know anything. You actually have to research what's going on. And that's fine. Not everyone has to recognize this and believe in it, but the facts are out here. You have to take the time to read through it. And that's why I try to share this with you guys, and I show you the sources. So big moves happening behind the scenes. Now, speaking of big money, OpenNode raises $1.25 million to make it easier for merchants to accept Bitcoin. So OpenNode is a Bitcoin payments processor. The company raised $1.25 million from US-based venture capitalist and Bitcoin proponent Tim Draper. Many of you know him. It was founded by Afnan Rahman, Brandon Lewis, and Joao Almeida. OpenNode, a Tim Draper-backed startup, announced it raised $1.25 million on Tuesday, and it's hoping that its new platform will change the way people view Bitcoin. In most corners of the market, Bitcoin is viewed primarily as a store of value rather than an everyday medium of exchange. OpenNode is building a blockchain payments platform with a focus on ease of use. The firm says its plug-and-play offerings enable merchants to sign up with an email and immediately begin accepting Bitcoin. So obviously, many of these platforms and so forth start with Bitcoin, and then they work their way down the list: Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, whatever it is, right? I think we've seen many of the other ones, even some folks I interviewed at World Crypto Con, where they're accepting a lot of different cryptos. So this is the infrastructure being set up for accepting payments. So businesses and commerce and so forth. This is a great sign. This shows that the big money, they're going to push the adoption of crypto, guys, and people using it. Now, they made a great point that Bitcoin is itself, just a store of value right now. But I think what they're preparing for is for when Bitcoin goes on the Lightning Network, because we know Bitcoin's utility sucks. The amount of fees, the time it takes, especially when the network gets busy. Sure, maybe now because things have slowed down, it doesn't take as long and the fees are not as high. But we saw what happened last December. So that's why the Lightning Network is critical for Bitcoin. And I'm long on Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin, but of course I'm most bullish on XRP because of the use case. I believe XRP will be number one, but that doesn't mean Bitcoin is going to die or something's going to happen. It's going to be here. And I think more of a store of value. So to be sure, there are a number of firms in the Bitcoin payments market. Still, the company's offering differentiates from services such as Coinbase Commerce and BitPay in as much as it allows merchants to accept Bitcoins through the Lightning Network, as I just mentioned. A second layer solution for instant Bitcoin transaction, the firm says. We didn't create OpenNode to create a Coinbase Commerce 2.0 or BitPay 2.0. These solutions have limits on their invoices. We don't have limits. So they are building for the Lightning Network, which is being worked on. I wish it was here already, but that's okay. It's being built out, infrastructure stage. Major investments are being made, and a lot of different services and companies are launching, guys. So big things ahead. Now, we have here a New York Times article, and it talks about the America could lead the transition to a digital currency reserve. Now, they obviously talk about cryptocurrencies in here. I think this is great exposure. I mean, this is big time. And who we've been talking about, guys, that has been very buddy with the IMF, International Monetary Fund, Ripple. There's some big things happening here. Could XRP be used as a global reserve currency? That's possible. I'm not saying it will be. Could it be Bitcoin? It could be Bitcoin. But as far as probability, it would most likely be XRP. But we could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong here. It could be the U.S. creates its own. The Federal Reserve creates its own. I'm just being realistic here, guys. I'm being transparent. But I did that video the other day where I highlighted that Brad Garlinghouse was on the same stage as one of the guys from the IMF, and we've seen different news around Ripple and the IMF and so forth. So they're certainly working together. On what? I don't know. It could just be that they're buddies because Ripple is working with all the central banks. I shouldn't say all. They said they're working with 40 to 50 of the central banks across the world. We know that they are very close to the Federal Reserve. We know they've been speaking to the White House. We know Ripple has been lobbying politicians in D.C. So some big things are happening behind the scenes. We'll just have to wait and see. But I did want to call out something here. Let's see. Countries around the world are racing to lead the next revolution in financial technology. While it is clear that the United States and companies like Coinbase were early entrants in this global movement, it is also true that many nations and individuals are jockeying for leadership. There are currently more than 1,400 digital currencies and tokens available, serving a variety of uses. Central banks from China to Sweden to Uruguay are considering issuing their own. America must maintain its leadership role by leading the way on research and development of cryptocurrency technologies. So cryptocurrency technology is mentioned explicitly, just as it did in the early days of the internet, rather than stifling it. That's why I always make the analogy that we are in 1995, 96 of the internet days, guys, and that's where we have to be patient. The blockchain is our internet, so to speak, and the projects being built on it. It's like the websites and software and solutions being built on the internet, right? And there's multiple use cases. It's very similar in the way it's going. I think it will move much faster because the internet allows us to communicate and move faster versus the internet starting up on its own from the ground level, from scratch, right? And continuing here, and if it does, it could ultimately build dominant cryptocurrency technologies that become the backbone of the 21st century financial system. Doing so could yield all sorts of wonderful possibilities. In the 21st century, when a national market undergoes a major fluctuation, America could enable an alternative currency. It could make it easier for American farmers to sell to foreign customers without the friction of foreign exchange, and its development agencies like the USAID could airdrop cryptocurrencies to hard-hit regions of the world that lack access to banking infrastructure. You really think cryptocurrencies is going to die? It's going away. It's here to stay. And look at what they're talking about, guys. It's just like the early days of the internet, where, in the early days, people were saying, well, we can use this for the internet, and the government's going to do this, and here's what we can do. And those ideas have to come to fruition, but you can see the thought process is starting to happen. Okay, this technology can be used to fix the current problems we have. So I am so happy I'm an early adopter here. And as I've been saying, guys, cryptocurrency is definitely here to stay. Look at what is going on. Look at the exposure. Look at who's talking about this. So awesome stuff. Now, moving ahead. So Ripple did their Ask Me Anything with Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, and Monica Long. There wasn't many major takeaways, as far as new information. And they usually don't do that with these AMAs. I think this is just more of a community PR type thing where they want to make sure that they're giving some level of transparency. Usually when they announce something, they'll announce it as a press release or the blog or something major, right? They're not going to announce anything major here. But Brad, you can tell that in the conversations that regulatory uncertainty is holding up a lot on their end, and as well as the rest of the market, because he also talked about Bitcoin ETFs. He said, I would like to see a Bitcoin ETF. And he has said in the past, he's long on Bitcoin. And you can see like pretty much the entire market, guys, is being held up. I think even Bitcoin with its ETF, Ripple with and many other cryptos, like I said, Cardano, Stellar, Litecoin, and so forth. No clarity on what is going on, right? And I think they are waiting. They're doing what they have to do. They're building out their services, hiring. They're getting banks onboarded. He confirmed that 3 MercuryFX, Qualix, and Federal, I forgot the name of it, Catalyst Federal Credit Union are live indeed on XRapid. But I think for the major banks to go on board, they need that regulatory clarity. The SEC is that roadblock right now, guys. But we know they are working on things. We see the progress being made. We see what they're doing. So I'm not worried. I'm just letting you know. I'm being transparent. I'm letting you know as far as expectations. And I think we'll see something as early as, the first half of 2019. I think the SEC is going to get pressure. Congress is pushing that bill, guys, the Virtual Currencies Act. And I think they're going to get some pressure, and I think we'll see something in early 2019. That's my honest opinion, and especially with the big players, because with the big players getting in, and a lot of these cryptocurrency companies, including Ripple, Coinbase, and so forth, are lobbying politicians. I think they'll put pressure on them. So we just got to be patient and let it play out. But we know what Ripple is planning to do. There's some big things ahead, and let's hope the SEC moves as fast as they can. So just wanted to do that. Obviously, the video is up on their website as well as on their YouTube channel, so you guys can go look at it. And let me move ahead here. So Garda wallet, they tweeted here, wow, what's going on in the market? Have you seen Ripple Sprint? This is just so awesome, XRP. Actually, Ripple is one of the coins supported. No, absolutely all. This is kind of weird. Actually, Ripple is one of the wallets of the coins supported. No, absolutely all Garda wallets, as well as the purchases and exchanges. It is an honor to accompany you on this rally. This is, I don't know if English is their second language here, but I guess they're highlighting that they have XRP, and it's, yeah, I don't know. Just want to let you guys know. I'm not sure where they're based, honestly. But like I said, it's good to see some green. I'm hesitant to call this a rally or a start of any type of bull run, because being in the market since late 2016, I've seen things like this, and it can easily go back south because there's manipulation, especially when you notice, just the other day in the morning at 6 a.m., boom, spike, right? that type of activity and thing is kind of weird. Sure, it could have been a whale that just decided to buy a whole bunch of, and then the rest of people got bullish around it. But I'm still hesitant about things like that. But I'm in it for long term. I'm not in it for short term to make some quick profit or whatever. I'm here to hold to make some a good amount of money. Obviously, I have my price points I'll cash out on, but I think the future 2019 is very bright. If we didn't have news of these things happening with big money and launches are coming up for institutional services, I would be worried. I would be like, well, man, I don't know what's happening here, right? Nobody's getting involved. But we have the opposite of that. Everybody's getting involved. Wall Street, right? Governments are on board. You got big names, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Bakkt, ICE, New York Stock Exchange, Starbucks, all these major players. And guess what? All of them are going to need to get a return on their investment. They're here to make money. And like I said, we just have to be patient. So guys, what do you think about this news? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, this is not financial or investment advice. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and please help share this video and my channel with your friends and family who want to learn about crypto and look at things from a factual standpoint. So thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.